Need better passes than that. That was a bit sloppy, and then Westaway won it back. A few of the Brunswick fans here thought she did so illegally, and so did a few of the Brunswick players, but Courtney Van Dusen having none of it. And it's a throw. Tuglia. That's a poor pass. Straight to the feet of Tolos, who sends it straight back to Tuglia, like they're having their own little kick-to-kick out there. Yates now involved. Could open up here a bit for emerging. Almost did for a moment, but the side-footed effort from Rossi didn't come off, but they've won it back anyway, emerging, and it's back towards Rossi. The hat-trick hero from last week works Gadari, and she turns it away for a corner. That's a bit better from the home side. And particularly from Karina Rossi, who's had a bit of a tough afternoon. She certainly came to life there. Her shot winning the corner, and it's a corner that she will take. 31.5 minutes played. Brunswick Juventus going ahead after 15 minutes. Can FE emerging level the scores? Rossi right into the hot spot. That's a great cross. Plenty of black and white shirts there that'll deal with it. Cooper trying to come away. O'Keefe, Tam, yeah, 1-2. O'Keefe won it and then got tripped. Just working their way back into the contest a bit in the last 5 or so minutes, emerging after a very rocky period. From about 10 minutes to 25 minutes or so, when the visitors went ahead and probably should have had 2 or 3 more. If they can get a goal back here before half time and go in on level terms, they will see that as a win, you'd think. FE emerging. Here's Tam with the free kick. It's a low, flat effort. Not great for any potential target. Gaudry to O'Keefe. Dropping deeper and deeper, Brunswick. As the tide of this first half turns, Tartaglia almost got herself in a tangle. Got out of it just in time. Was offside against Kokotis. A few FV emerging supporters in the crowd here got excited when that ball went across, but the linesman's flag was up almost as soon as it was played. Whistle is blown here by Courtney Van Dusen. She's seen a handball somewhere. And now it's a free kick for Brunswick in fairly inviting territory. They have looked certainly much the more dangerous of the two teams from set pieces. So it'll be Danucci to take it. Likes of Smith and Cooper and Lonsdale are up there. It's floated in. Smith almost got an eyebrow onto it. And it's deflected away. And looks like it might be a throw here for Danucci, right up against the corner flag. It is. As we enter the final 10 minutes of the half. Danucci goes short and then flag is up. So it's a free kick for emerging. McKenzie to Taglia. A calming influence in that defence for emerging. Gaudry backpedaling, but doing so effectively. Back to Tartaglia. Runs out of ideas though. She has to go back to the safety of the goalkeeper. Good press this from Juventus, but McKenzie manages to beat the press by finding Yates, and now they're turning defence into attack. The home team, Yates, the ball was just a little over enthusiastic. Gave it away cheaply. Wild. Tolos. First time ball finds Cooper. This is dangerous for emerging. It's Cooper. And good defending there by Tartaglia. And it's out for a Brunswick Juventus corner. That isn't good news for the emerging defence, who have had trouble dealing with them so far today. And already a goal down. The last thing they want is to concede a second here with half-time approaching. In comes the corner from Tolos. And the keeper has come out early and not connected. Helped away though by Kokotis for emerging, but she hasn't cleared. It's Tolos. Tolos does well. Sends another cross in. Yates blocks it and sends it out onto the one of the warm-up pitches. And it's another corner. This one of 3 NPLW games kicking off at 3 p.m. today. Calder hosting Essendon Royals at Keilor Park Reserve. Bulleen versus Heidelberg at the Veneto Club as the corner comes in. And a header there from Grimer, and that's straight out of play. Goal kick for emerging, yes. Bulleen versus Heidelberg, and then Bentley Greens hosting Box Hill United at 4 p.m, so that's not far from a kick-off. And then tonight, Burundara Casey versus Alamein at the Veneto Club. So a double header at the Veneto Club. And that one's at 8 p.m. Of course, plenty of men's fixtures as well. Here's Danucci. Well, that's a bit sloppy. And coming in here as West away, the keeper has to be good, and she is. Gadari. Didn't get quite enough on that Danucci and almost put her keeper in a difficult spot. Gaudry with the long ponytails, or pigtails rather. And Lamb goes to ground. She's got neither pigtails or ponytails. She's got it up in a bun. Wild. Danucci. Tolos. Close control by Tolos, who's grown into this game like a few of her teammates. Danucci as well. Giving it away here though, and here's Kokotis. Rossi just played it first time, but a bit too quickly and went straight to lay. And then her target went to ground. That was Keppins. Anyway, she keeps going, Keppins. To come into the area. Gaudry there. Keppins right with her. Former teammates. Keppins wins out. Now Buttress is there. Good battle between a number of players down this near side, and emerging come out on top eventually. Here's Rossi. Good battle with her, with Lonsdale, and now Buttress coming in again. Game really opening up as we head towards half-time. Goodsman over towards Yates. Kokotis. She's starting to get involved a bit more down the flank. And some nice footwork here. She's in the area. This is promising. Now Yates from long range. And that was dipping and getting alarmingly close to the crossbar there for Sienna Gadari. She saw it all the way, but it was one of those awkward ones. She had to reach, not knowing whether it would dip under the bar or not. In the end, it did go onto the roof of the net, but that was a good effort by Yates from a long way out. As close as the home side have come for a while. Cooper. She's probably been the best player on the pitch or close to it. Yates. Gutzman. Kokotis. They are finishing better here. If they're emerging. Ball bangs off Danucci, out for a throw. Josip Lonkaric bellowing at his players. He's probably getting more frustrated as the half goes on, given the way emerging is starting to get on top. And now it's a ball right across the face of goal there by Kokotis. Buttress would need to be 8 feet tall to meet that ball. She did have a go, but it was well over the top and it was offside in any event. But they have steadied the ship here, the home side, and they are starting to knock on the door a bit as half-time approaches. We've crossed 40 minutes. 41, in fact. I get the feeling there's going to be a couple more twists and turns before we reach the break. It wouldn't be a surprise if we see another goal, whether it's an equaliser or one that gives the visitors a 2-goal buffer. Here's Gaudry. Good pressure by Keppins. Comes out towards Buttress. This way, then that way. Great stuff by Buttress. Still she's going, and now she draws a foul. Does she? No. Well, that looked a bit strange from this angle. And now there is a foul, and there could be a card too. A bit of afters here between Danucci and Gaudry. And there's an FV emerging player down, prostrate behind play. I think it's Buttress. And a yellow card for Danucci. Buttress still down after that collision with Lonsdale, which looked a stone-cold foul from here, but the referee was much closer than me and let it go. But whether it's a foul or not, it certainly caused a problem for Danella Buttress, who, as I've said, has had more than a fair share of scrapes and bruises and bumps in this first half, and it might just have gotten the better of her. Bit of a break here as the physio attends to Danella Buttress. If the emerging have gotten into a huddle inside their own half, Brunswick Juventus players are just happy to stay in their positions. A couple of them having a drink. Inside the final 2 minutes of normal time, but given this delay, there surely will be a bit of stoppage time as Buttress is up and going again. Looks like she'll make it to half-time. Whether she comes out after half-time is another question. But she has been up and going. She has caused some problems down this near side, particularly in that run before that recent collision. Wild. Fort Otto. Ball down the channel just gives Tolos a bit too much to do. She can't get there. Karina Tolos. She's also been a handy player in this first half, the ex-Heidelberg United player. Brought in a few players from other NPLW clubs have Brunswick Juventus for their first campaign in the top flight. Of course, 3 from FV Emerging. And a long speculative ball forward there. I think that might have been Wild who had a go there. Wild by name and wild by nature with that shot. Nothing doing. And it's FV Emerging to come away, and it's Buttress. Still she's going. It'll come back to her. Buttress. Heavy collision there. Both players get back up and going. Danucci. Game becoming stretched inside the final 10 seconds of normal time. Tatalia. Alyssa Smith wins the ball off her though. Does well. Lonsdale. Fort Otto. Oh, and a good block there by Westaway is off to the races. Only the keeper to beat. We're into stoppage time. Can she level? You bet she can. With what might be the last kick of the half, Clancy Westaway has brought FV Emerging level with a great charge down on an opponent, and then the ricochet put her in on goal. All she had to do was beat Sienna Gadari in the Brunswick Juventus goal, and she did that with aplomb, just sliding it into the bottom corner. And in first half stoppage time, it is 1-1. Well, you sensed something was going to happen. And it has come to pass that the teams will almost surely go into half-time now on level pegging, and probably the way this first half has gone, we have to say that's a fair result. Both teams have had their periods of dominance, but Emerging are having theirs now. More good work from Buttress. Danucci can't deal with it. Put the home side yet go in front at the break. We are having a bit of stoppage time here. Didn't see the board from the fourth official. There must have at least been a minute or two. Could there be time for Juventus to put their noses back in front? Lay. She might have played in Keppins here. Gaudry right with her for Emerging. And she goes to the safety of the touchline. And that's that for a very entertaining first half of football here at the home of the Matildas. End-to-end stuff. Both teams having their periods on top. It was Brunswick Juventus who took the initiative early on with a goal after 15 minutes. That goal was taken by on 15 minutes. I'll get the goal scorer in a moment, but whoever it was an excellent reply late on by Clancy Westaway, charging down an attempted clearance. It ricocheted back into the path of the goalkeeper, and Westaway got there first and slid it in behind. Of course, the goal scorer, how could I forget? The goal scorer for Brunswick Juventus after 15 minutes was, of course, Nicole Cooper, and it was a great goal from her as well. From down the near side, taking it to the byline. The opponent ran over the top of the football, and from a tight angle and close range, she put her side ahead. It was a lead they had for much of the half, but they couldn't hold it, and the second half should be a very interesting one indeed. Join us in about 15 minutes for the second half here at the break. It is FV Emerging 1, Brunswick Juventus 1. Cut out a highlight and then What's that? All right. Is it still? Is it? Oh, it's counting down. Yep. What's that?
I made sure that.
All right. Usually doesn't. I think one turn's out there. Let us know when. Just give us a signal or something. Were you speaking to them then? No.
Bear in mind there will be a slight delay too.
Welcome back to the home of the Matildas, where the second half is about to get underway and where we are still locked together. At the start of the game it was 0-0. At the start of the second half it is 1-1, and it was a very late equaliser for FV Emerging, which locked the teams back up again. It was Clancy Westaway with a goal in second half stoppage time, which brought the home side back level after an early goal for Nicole Cooper of Brunswick Juventus put them in front after 15 minutes. And that's where it sits as we get ready for the second half here between these two teams that won last week. And they'll be keen to repeat the dose here in week 2 of the NPL Women's. Cade Lucas is my name. I'm with you on YouTube. Hope you can stay with us for the second half. If it's anywhere near as entertaining as the first, we are in for a treat. And FV Emerging not wasting any time here right from the off. They're coming into the area looking to go in front for the first time. Lay there for Brunswick Juventus, and she's hacked down from behind. Bit of an agricultural challenge there by Poppy O'Keefe, and it's a free kick for the visitors in their black and white stripes, going towards the southern end or the right of your screen in the second half. FV Emerging in the navy blue going towards the left or the northern end, and they are going forward here through Buttress. Nice turn. Good intervention there though by Wild. Just getting a toe in to deny the emerging attacker, who was one of their better players in that first half. No substitutions at the break. Teams as they were. And here's Cooper laying it off towards Smith. Now Cooper again, the goal scorer for Juventus. Lay. Pass was just a bit hasty, and that pass was a bit sloppy by Yara for FV Emerging. Sorry, Florina. Yara Florina. Apologies for my pronunciation there, but I said there were no substitutions. Turns out there is one, because Florina wasn't in the starting lineup at the beginning of the game, but she's out there now. Meanwhile, a shot on goal here from Brunswick by Alyssa Smith, and that curls just past the upright. But an early shot across the bows for FV Emerging in the early stages of this second half. So it looks like Florina has come on for Ellen Gaudry for FV Emerging, so it's the only change for either side. As the ball goes out of play below us, and it is the substitute. Florina will take the throw, and it will come back to her. Right on halfway here at the home of the Matildas. Lovely sunny afternoon, not too hot. Bit of a cool breeze coming from the south, which is going to the backs of FV Emerging in this second half, and they might be in here, but the flag is up. It was number 13 who was almost in there, and that's one of those players who just doesn't happen to be on the team sheet. So that's very helpful for commentators, having players whose numbers don't appear on the sheet, but we'll soldier on. Here is someone whose number certainly does appear. It's Kokotis, and she got better as the half went on in the first half. Can't make something happen here. Good into play this though, and it comes towards Rossi. Ball pinballing around. And it's Grimer to the safety of the touchline. Looks like it's Samira Rexhepi who's the mystery player for FV Emerging, so she's come on. So thankfully we've been able to find her identity, so we do know all the players out on the pitch. So 2 changes actually at the half for Emerging. Rexhepi and Florina coming on. As Buttress is in the area here, she goes to ground, and now it's Tolios who goes to the safety of the touchline, and it's a throw here for the home side deep in their attacking third. They've really come flying out of the blocks in this second half. They finished the stronger of the two teams in the first half, and they've picked up where they left off. Looking to go in front. Yates floats the ball in. The keeper comes out. She's missed it. Trouble here for Brunswick Juventus, and they somehow scramble it over the byline. No one from emerging could just get a touch there. The goal was unguarded. It was Kokotis who was closest to it. Gadari came out to meet it and missed the ball clean. And Kokotis saw it bounce in front of her. Her eyes must have lit up, but she couldn't get that final touch on the ball. Good work by the likes of Lonsdale there, who got back late and just hustled the ball over the byline for a goal kick. So the last touch must have come off Kokotis for emerging. There she is again, going to ground. But the home side win the ball back. They've really got their tails up right now. Goodsmith. Back to Goodsmith. O'Keefe. Lamb in midfield, really dominating possession here now. The girls in navy blue. There's a belated flag on the far side to signal offside. You can see that flag fluttering fairly vigorously too. It's a decent breeze from the south, not a gale, but more than a zephyr, and that's certainly helping emerging out too. Guzman around an opponent nicely, but then gave the ball back to Lay. Now Cooper over the top, giving Keppen some work to do. The keeper has to come out. McKenzie, cool under pressure, does okay. Does better than okay, in fact. Helps it towards Westaway, the goal scorer for emerging. Smattering of applause here in the grandstand at the home of the Matildas for the emerging keeper, who was in a difficult spot there outside her box, but she kept a cool head, just trapped the ball with a midriff. But now some problems at the back for Juventus, and a shot there by Rex Heppy only finds the outstretched palms of Gadari, but they are starting to work their way through Brunswick Juventus with ease here, FV emerging. You'd have to think they're going to take the lead here if this current spell continues. As I say that, Josip Lonkaric is looking towards his bench. I think there's going to be some changes here for Juventus. In fact, there is. We'll get to them in a moment, as Wild with the free kick for the visitors. Now Grimer just inside the touchline. Tolios. Nobody home for that cross. Lamb just deflects it away. Florina does well to the feet of Kokotis. She's got some room to move. She's got company though in the form of Fort Otto. Fort Otto, who got a yellow card in the first half. I thought it was Danucci, but no less than Danucci's mother came over to inform me that it wasn't her daughter who got the yellow card. So thank you, Mrs. Danucci. I think it was Fort Otto who got it instead. Either way, they're defending here as FV emerging come forward yet again. Nothing doing on that occasion. It's going to be Sienna Coppola who will enter the action for Juventus. She's waiting for a break in play to come on. We'll wait and see who comes off. They do need to change something up at the moment, Juventus, because the game's going against them, as that's a hopeful ball forward by Lay. McKenzie again, not a great clearance by her. Lay. Kokotis rode the challenge, did well Kokotis. Then she goes to ground. Fort Otto kept her feet. Now Lay again. And that's a good old-fashioned push in the back from Kokotis on Lay. And a free kick. And a chance for a substitution here for Brunswick Juventus. Coppola is on. And it's number 9, Emily Keppins, who makes way, the former FV emerging player. She was their second top scorer last season with 7 goals, but didn't look like troubling the scorers today. And Josip Lakaric has decided to make a change. Almost 10 minutes played in the second half. Still no addition to the scoreline. Long free kick by Lonsdale. Clears the pack, goes all the way back to Yates, who helps it forward. And here's O'Keefe, who helps it a bit further forward. Gives Retsepi a bit too much work to do. She can't get there in time to substitute. Yates. Flag is up once more. They're not creeping in behind that offside trap too often. FV emerging. The linesmen on either side are having a bit of work to do raising their flags. Here's Rossi, and she finds Retsepi, who's drifting out wide, and that's a good cross in, but a good take as well by the keeper, Gadari. She saw it coming and took it clean. Needed to, because emerging were in there if there was any sort of spillage from the opposition keeper. Danucci. Kokotis. Florina, former Calder United player, who played against her former club last week in their win 4-2. She came off at half-time in that game, and she's come on at half-time in this one. Buttress. Yates. That's a good ball into the far post. Kokotis, will she get there in time? She won't. She really typifies the revival in FV emerging since the last quarter hour of the first half. She was a bit of a passenger in the first half an hour or so of the game, but since that point, she has really become influential, and the rest of her team have too. Florina. Buttress. Good use of the body by Buttress, who brings it to ground. Now Kokotis again. Those two really causing headaches at the back for Juventus. Kokotis down the near side. Florina rather. She can only squeeze that one into the area, but there's nobody home on that occasion for the home side. Started the season here at the home of the Matildas last week against Calder United, and they've got a hat-trick of home games. Their game next week is also here, as that's a sloppy back pass. Cooper could be in. The keeper again, Mackenzie, getting it away just in the nick of time. And we're going to see more changes. And it's Kokotis, who I've just been praising for really coming into the game. Well, she's coming off. And it's Amelia Ingalls who comes on. Second half substitute last week against Calder. Came on in the 84th minute. Today she's got a fair bit more game time ahead of her. 58 minutes is the time in which she comes on. So more than half an hour to have an impact, as that's a rugged challenge by Buttress. She certainly had an impact on Fort Otto, and she goes into the book, and rightly so. I mentioned that she's had a pretty rugged first half, Buttress. She was injured, or looked to be injured on a couple of occasions, and now she's dished out a bit of her own to Fort Otto, who herself was yellow carded in the first half. So what goes around comes around. And the Brunswick midfielder is going to need a bit of treatment here in the centre circle, so we do have a bit of an intermission. FE emerging again, getting in a huddle, as have Juventus on this occasion. Santi Escudero is giving some riding instructions to a couple of his players down below us. The game is tantalisingly poised, as they say. Just over a half hour to go. And who knows, depending on the result, it could be top spot on the table in the offing. Both of these teams winning last week. FE emerging were already second coming into this game, so if they win, it'd probably be the more likely of the two to go top, depending on the scoreline, but Brunswick could as well. Shake of the hands there between Buttress and Fort Otto, so no hard feelings, and we're back underway. Will that change the momentum of this game, that injury stoppage? Doesn't look like it, because it's emerging coming forward yet again, as they have done really since this second half began. They've been well on top since the break, as I mentioned earlier, really since the latter stages of the first half. Juventus really dominated the mid stages, the early to mid stages of the first half, after a very even first 10 minutes. From then to the half hour mark or so, it was all the visitors. Since then, it's been all the home side. Will it seesaw back the other way? Plenty of time with the scores level. Plenty of opportunities for either side here. And that's a nice ball forward by O'Keefe, who opens the door for Rex Heppy. An opportunity for her. She finds Buttress. Oh, her first touch lets her down. A back heel, but she can't find a teammate. And she is down over the byline, Buttress, and she's thinking, how on earth have I not scored? She slaps the turf in frustration. And now she picks herself up. And she'll wait for the corner to come in. This game is 1-1. It could easily be 2-2, 3-3. They really have their shooting boots on, maybe 4-4. Both have had ample opportunities. They take the corner quickly. And it's a little bit too quick there from Rossi, who only hits the side netting. Yes, on another day, we could have racked up half a dozen goals or more by this point for either team, for both teams combined. And who knows, we might still. Hope you can stay with us on YouTube. This is a very entertaining and intriguing battle. It's still got a bit to play out. Cooper. Since she might have a say in how this pans out. Can't quite set up something here though, and again it's the home side coming forward, and it's Ingles, the substitute, who's just come on, her first touch of the ball. She can't do much with it, but she does win a throw. Deep in the attacking third here for the home side. Ingles into the area. Lonsdale with an intervention. Lay just hacks it forward. Only as far as Goodsmith, who's got the captain's armband on for FV emerging. Pham. Ingles. Towards Florina, the other substitute. She'll take it to the byline. She's giving Danucci the run around. Into the area. Here's Westaway. She's already scored one. Oh, nice work by Rossi. But the finish let her down. It was always a pretty ambitious try from Karina Rossi. It just hasn't been able to get into the game like she did last week. A hat-trick to start the season. Doesn't get much better than that. Ball almost shouldered down by O'Keefe. And here is Rossi again. They build once more. Florina. Oh, just a touch was a little heavy. And Ingles couldn't control it, and it's out for a throw, but firmly on the back foot here, Brunswick Juventus. This second half is almost 20 minutes old, and it's been mostly one-way traffic. Good intervention there by Lonsdale, otherwise Buttress might have been in. And a strong challenge there from Ingles right in front of the grandstand here, which is mostly populated by emerging supporters, and they were pretty pleased with that. O'Keefe gives it away, wins it back though. Put Goodsmith under pressure, but Courtney Denise, the referee, blew the whistle. She saw an infringement in the build-up there, so it'll come back. Yes, FV emerging another home game here at the home of the Matildas next week against Bentley Greens, whilst for Brunswick Juventus they're on the road again. So it's contrasting travel patterns in the opening of the season. 3 home games for one, 3 road games for the other. Brunswick Juventus, they go to face the team that emerging beat last week, Calder United at Keilor Park Reserve, where they are currently playing against Essendon Royals. Ingles, Buttress, Florina shows composure, keeps the ball, looking out wide for Westaway. Danucci with the intervention though, an important one. And can they break here? Juventus. Cooper. Final ball just letting her down a bit. Pham intervenes. Both teams giving it away cheaply at the moment. Danucci. And what do you know? She's turned it over. Just becoming a little bit sloppy as we head towards the latter stages. 66 played. It's all the way back to Gadari. He's clad in pink today. Here's Ingles. She's been fairly busy since coming on. To Buttress, who looks at the referee as she goes down. Nothing doing again, Buttress. Here's Rexepi, good control into the area. Rossi, it sits in front of her, and Wild has a problem, and she can just go to the byline and concede a corner. She seemed almost caught by surprise there, Karina Rossi, that the ball sat up in front of her in the area, and Rosie Wild just got there in front of her and hacked it out for a corner. Approaching 70 minutes. On the balance of play, they deserve to be in front if they're emerging. Can they actually make that happen? They take it short. And now it's Rossi who will go all the way back to Yates. Now Westaway. They eventually get a ball in the box. And Grimer sees it out of play. Maybe a corner routine that needs a bit more work on the training ground, that one. They do have a throw though from Yates. We'll look to put it in the mixer. Doesn't get there. Florina now Buttress. Flag is up. Buttress playing more centrally in this second half. She was coming down the flanks in the first half, but it looks like she's gone up top. And Rexepi and Ingles are playing out wide. Or Florina as well. Maybe Florina is the further forward and Ingles is a bit further back. Both of them have certainly gone deep into the Juventus half on plenty of occasions in this second period. There's Grimer doing well, but then giving the ball away. And now it's Rossi on towards Buttress on the turn. She runs into a black and white wall. Still she's going. And eventually it's a free kick for Brunswick, and they can just take a sigh of relief. They really are under the pump now. Lonsdale. And lose that in midfield again, where they're really falling down. Juventus, and inside the area it goes. One of their defenders goes down. Buttress keeps her feet, sends it back. Redzepi, her first touch, just let her down. And it's into the outstretched arms of Gadari. Oh, they were lucky to get out of that one, the visitors. It does seem like a matter of time, though, before the home side do find the back of the net to take the lead. Very much all the home side since the break, and for 10 or 15 minutes before it as well. Yet another attack. Rossi. She might have a go from range. Certainly members in the crowd wanted her to, but she hesitated. Tolios will try and come away. She's been a bit quiet since half-time, like a few of her teammates. Lay. Now Smith with a bit of space. What can they do here, Brunswick? And she lays it down the channel, but that's just a bit too much for Coppola to do anything with. She was never getting there. Sienna Coppola, who hasn't been able to make much of an impact or any impact since coming on. I don't think she's had a touch yet. And at the other end, the other substitute, Redzepi's been involved in plenty. Wasn't far off scoring a moment ago. The way things are going, she's likely to have more opportunities in this final 19 and a half minutes of normal time. Josip Lonkaric knows he needs to change things up. He needs to do something to alter the course of this game. He's going to make a double change now. So it's Sion Garesso who's preparing to come on, another former FV emerging player. And also Natalie Chi. Or Chia, apologies for my pronunciation, but number 23, she will also enter the fray, and she knows where the goals are. At least in the VPL last season she did. She scored 5. As the ball is again deep in the attacking third for emerging, and it will be a free kick for Juventus. The ball's gone out of play, but before they take it, those substitutes will come on. So Danucci is one of those who's going to make way. So Sarah Danucci's off. And Natalie Chia will come on. And it looks like Fort Otto will also come off. And Garesso rather on. So Garesso and Chia on, Danucci and Fort Otto off. And that's now 3 changes made for Brunswick Juventus. 73 minutes gone. They're still level. All results still very much a possibility here for either team. Here's Garesso straight into the action and straight out of play. And it's Ingles who throws it forward towards Buttress. Buttress bustling away forward. She again goes down, and a belated whistle by Courtney Denise. And she's reaching for a pocket. And it's a yellow here for Buttress. And it's fair to say that's not a popular result in the grandstand. And of course it's a second yellow, so Buttress is off. She was the one making the play there. She seemed to run into the defenders, but the referee was much closer than us, and she's clearly seen something and given Danella Buttress a second yellow, and off she comes. And FV Emerging, who really should be in front, suddenly find themselves having to negotiate the last 15 minutes with 10 players. Well, that ends a very eventful afternoon for Danella Buttress. Plenty of knocks and scrapes and bruises. Very nearly scored one, if not a couple of goals. But she copped a couple of yellows too, and now makes way, and suddenly the tenor of this game could change quite markedly. Can Brunswick Juventus make the most of it? Here's Garesso. Ingles. Goodsmith. Grimer striding out to try and get there in front of Rossi. She won't quite do so. They battle for the ball. Rossi does well. Grimer muscles her way back into it. A good tussle right beneath the scoreboard, which shows 1-1, and there was a bit of a dead set draw between those two in that encounter as well. Here's a free kick in the end though to Juventus. Gadari. Lonsdale. Plenty of room to stride forward. Lay over the top. There's no one there to try and run onto it. Alyssa Smith does get there late, but it is deflected out of play. And again, some of the home crowd here not happy with that decision. They thought it came off an emerging player. It's Yates with the throw. Mexepi on the turn. Grimer putting her frame in the way. Worked hard today, Grimer. It's going one-on-one against Buttress in the first half when she was playing out wide. She certainly had plenty of work to do in the second half as they try and come forward here, Juventus, but the ball from Smith goes nowhere. They've really struggled to manufacture anything since the break, the home side. You wonder whether they'll be able to, even with the one-woman advantage. Also should be factored in that the breeze, if anything, looks like it might have kicked up a little bit. Players' shirts and ponytails are flapping a bit more wildly than they were in the first half. Here come Juventus into it here. Garesso goes down and then looks at the referee and says, where's the free kick? She's not getting one, and now it's Emerging coming away. Florina, that was a nice looking pass, but a good intervention by Lonsdale. And here's the other recent substitute, Chia, over towards Smith. It was a hopeful ball in the path of Cooper, but a good intervention by Yates. And that's out of play. And that'll mean another substitute, a third for FV Emerging. Alice Francu comes on. And it's going to be Amelia Yates, Annabelle Yates rather, who was going to take that throw. But instead she's been substituted, so she will take the long walk around the pitch and come off. And Franco is on, so 3 changes apiece for both teams. "11 minutes of normal time to go. Should be a bit of stoppage time with a few injury delays. So the game really is there for the taking for both of these sides, especially for Juventus, now that emerging have had a player sent off. Can they make the most of it? Coppola, who's been quiet since coming on, trying to make herself known here, but Pham is back there to see it out of play in front of her. Tolios. Lay. It's about as far forward as they've been in this half. Good turn there by Lay, and she finds Cooper, and now in behind Chia, the substitute, Chia. McKenzie, good clean hands, got the ball, and some sighs of relief on the FV emerging bench and among their supporters. They were very nearly exposed there. And now it's Coppola coming again. Suddenly the visitors starting to make that player advantage count. Good run this by Coppola. Coppola doesn't come to anything. She has it again to Tolios. $80 minutes gone. Brunswick Juventus slowly turning the momentum back in their direction. Here's Chia, just got a bit too enthusiastic there and clattered into the back of Guzman. It's a free kick for Chloe McKenzie. Pham. She just goes route one, straight down the middle. Good header back though by Wild. Looks like Ingles might have switched sides. That's O'Keefe down the channel, and Franco, the substitute, just had a bit too much to do. Alice Franco, only a late substitute on the field, but she was a late substitute on the team sheet. She wasn't on the original team sheet, nor was she in the squad last week against Calder United. She's out there now. What's set to be a pretty tense last 10 minutes or so. Hope you can stay with us on YouTube. Kate Lucas with you. NPLW action, round 2. Both these teams winning last week. Top spot could possibly be up for grabs depending on results elsewhere. Wild. That's a nice ball forward. Falls for Cooper. Trying to lay it into the path of Chia. Cooper comes again. Grimer. Back to Lay. The skipper. Into the area. And Pham is back there. Her header's not great. The second one doesn't get it away either. Eventually, she eases the danger, but only momentarily. They're really coming forward now, Juventus. Tolios, blocked by Westaway. All hands on deck here for FV emerging. They're suddenly right under the cosh. Good work there by Florina to Westaway. Now Pham. This is a really entertaining contest we've got building now. Well, not building, it is. And it's coming towards a crescendo. Pham. Lay with the intervention. Cooper back towards Lay. O'Keefe does well in midfield. She's been one of their better players today, Poppy O'Keefe. And here's Franco, the fresh legs. Speaking of which, there's going to be 2 more for Brunswick Juventus who are preparing to come on below me. That'll be the final 2 for Josip Lomkaric. Florina. This way, that away. Nice pass to Westaway, who's turned past Lonsdale, and she's away. Squares it towards Rexepi, didn't quite reach her. But they're on the front foot again here, the home side. It's O'Keefe. She chances her arm. And that was never troubling Gadari. She sets away her team again, rolls it to Lonsdale. Sloppy there by Tolios, straight to the path of Pham, who then sent it straight back to Tolios. Good intervention by O'Keefe. Rexepi. Rossi, who's dropping deeper and deeper. Now to Westaway. Just over 5 minutes to go. They might be a player down emerging, but they only need one goal. It's late on, and they have a speculative go here. It was Guzmit, the skipper, who went from downtown. But that was never troubling Gadari. And that gives an opportunity for the last two substitutions to be made for the visitors. So it's Isabel Sangus who comes on. And it's Natalie Grimer who comes off. She's certainly worked hard today, Grimer. And it's Emma Peroni who also comes on. And it looks as though it's Alyssa Smith who makes way for her. So Smith and Grimer off. And it's Peroni and Sangus on. So that's 5 substitutions made for Juventus with just over 5 minutes to go. If the emerging still have 2 up their sleeve. Cooper flicking it on, almost playing in lay. The skipper comes out towards Pham though. Straight into the unsuspecting Coppola, and now back towards lay. And she'll send it back to Coppola. Can they manufacture something? Coppola into the area. Hacked away by Guzmit. Pham. Garesu. Tolios. Everyone back now for FV emerging. They're battening down the hatches. Driving forward wild. That's about as far forward as she's been all day, and she's lost the ball, and that could be a problem. Good intervention though by Lonsdale. She's galloping forward and now finds Lay, who's in behind, but McKenzie, as she has done a number of times today, judges it well and gets there first. But the defenders are really stepping up high into the opponent's half now. Brunswick Juventus, they're going for this, as they should. Well, it looks like emerging and maybe sitting back and hoping to go on the break, and otherwise just playing for a draw. O'Keefe. Now to Ingles. They come forward here if the emerging. Ingles will look to cross. No, she dinks it over to Franco, who lays it across the area. Chia just puts a boot through it, clears the danger. Gets her team back up the field, but only momentarily. Guzmit sends it back the other way. About 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. It looks like there's going to be another change on the emerging bench. Ingles. Rossi. O'Keefe. Now Pham. Have they got one last thrust in them here, FE emerging? It's Florina, who's been good since coming on down the flank. Getting in a tussle here with Tolios. They're still sorting themselves out as play goes on down the other end. Cooper. She can't get there in time. And it's out for a throw. Players down for both teams. Bit of cramp coming in. It's been physically demanding game. It's been sunny but not too warm. Has been windy, but of course excellent pitch here at home of the Matildas, and these two teams have certainly worked very hard. Been pretty bruising affair at times too. Some rugged challenges, a number of yellow cards, and of course 2 for Danella Buttress of emerging, which has meant they've had to negotiate the last quarter of this game, or the last quarter of an hour, with 10. So The break in play allows players to have just one last drink and set themselves for one last go at a victory. Got about 30 seconds of normal time to go. Stoppage time beyond that. Should be a little bit of it. Rossi deep in defence now. Ingles. Guzmit finds Rossi again and she gallops away. Turn defence into attack. Oh, that was a nice ball. Rexepi just couldn't quite get on the end of it. The flag stayed down. O'Keefe. Oh, that's a nice ball. Rexepi again. Just couldn't quite get there. Not sure if the pass was a little overhit or Rexepi was just not quite quick enough. There's been a few of those occasions. 6 minutes of stoppage time. So, still plenty of opportunity for either team. You'd have to think Brunswick could be the happier with that amount, given their advantage out there. They've got an extra player. Will that tell? Lay squeezes the ball forward. Pham goes all the way back to McKenzie. There's nobody home though for emerging. Well, somehow out of nowhere comes Rexepi. She certainly showed some pace on that occasion, and she wriggles her way past Rexepi. Finds Rossi. Rossi into the area. Gets it out from beneath her. It's Rossi. Right to the byline. Trying to get past Lonsdale. And it's a corner. Karina Rossi scored a hat-trick last week. She has not really looked like scoring so far today, but that could have been an important intervention there. She's won a corner for a team. And we're going to see one last change at least for FB emerging. Gracie Clarkson will come on, and it's their goal scorer, Clancy Westaway, who comes off and gets a good reception from the crowd as a result. Will they have a second goal scorer here? Rossi with the corner to the back post. Garesu got the header away. Peroni will try and take it further away. There's Navy shirts in front of her. One is O'Keefe. Franku. Not a great ball into midfield, allowed Coppola to steal it away, and then she got a little bit overexcited with that ball down the channel. O'Keefe. On towards Rossi. She's got acres of space in front of her all of a sudden. It's Rossi, two defenders ahead. She's got support out wide for Lorena. She's in the area, the flag's down. She can finish it. Gadari in the way though. An important stop. Certainly the closest emerging have come since they had a player sent off. Coppola can't keep it in play. Ingles with the throw. Rexepi. It was almost a crafty pass on the outside of the boot. Florina couldn't get there though. Here's O'Keefe, who's been close to emerging's best player, certainly in this second half. Controlling things in midfield. Lay's probably been the best midfielder for Brunswick. First touch there for Sangus to help it forward. Now she's got some defending to do. Isabella Sangus scored 3 times last season, but looks like she's playing in defence here. She could have been playing in defence last season when she scored, of course. And here's Cooper. She certainly doesn't play in defence. She's scored already once today. Chia there too. Can't quite creep past on that occasion. Lay. Now Cooper, they reload. Brunswick. Guzbit, the skipper there. Just getting in the way, then going to ground. Now Sangus. O'Keefe. Very scrappy stuff now. A lot of tired players out on the field, sore players. Here's Florina though. She's showing a bit more composure than most. She puts it out in front of Rex Heppy, but for the 18th time today, the flag is up. And you wonder how many more opportunities there will be. Both teams might have to settle for a draw. We've already gone through a fair bit of the stoppage time. Garesu ends up on her backside as she sends it forward. And now a moan of disappointment from Florina as she let that one go out of play. Here's Cooper, bouncing ball. Plenty of defenders back though for emerging. O'Keefe gaining some distance and killing a bit more of the clock. And it's out right below us. It'll be a dramatic winner for either team if they get one from here. And it might be emerging as Rossi skates down the near side, up towards the area now. Still she's going. Two defenders and the goalkeeper. And the last line of defence denies a good save by Gadari. Terrific run by Karina Rossi. She mightn't have scored today, but certainly in this second half, she has really come to life. And she has won a corner for a team. Could this be the winning moment? Rossi to take the corner. She floats it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Ingles there, toe poke. And Gadari saw it all the way. That might be the last opportunity FV Emerging have. No, they get another one. It's Rex Heppy on the turn. Lonsdale there, an air shot. Rex Heppy can't quite get boot to ball. Black and white jerseys in front of her. Pham is there to keep the pressure on. Now towards Rossi. Digs it over to O'Keefe. O'Keefe takes a touch. Probably should have had a shot. Franco. And Brunswick Juventus have hung on. A dramatic afternoon here at the home of the Matildas. It ends 1-1 on the score sheet, but it was much more than that. A thrilling, entertaining end-to-end game between two sides who have had great starts to the season, and both were close to adding a second victory to their wins last time out. Brunswick Juventus looked the more likely early on when they went ahead through Nicole Cooper after 15 minutes, and then from there on they had a number of chances to really put themselves out of sight. But slowly but surely, FV Emerging worked their way back into it, and they deservedly got back level late in the first half through a goal from Clancy Westaway. And then in the second half, it was FV Emerging who really went on with it. They had the breeze at their backs, they peppered the goals, and it looked only a matter of time before they would break through and go in front. But then things swung back in Brunswick's favour when Danella Buttress was controversially sent off with a second yellow. And from there, it was desperate end-to-end stuff. Brunswick Juventus unable to really make the most of their one-player advantage, and FV Emerging working hard, desperately trying to get a late winner, but unable to do so. The points are shared here at the home of the Matildas. Hope you've enjoyed the action on YouTube. I certainly enjoyed calling it. Kate Lucas is my name. I'll see you again soon in the NPLW, where we've got a whole season of that sort of action ahead of us. The final score here, it's finished. FV Emerging 1, Brunswick Juventus 1.
have been a good win if they got it with only 10 on the park.
That was a bit stiff, that. I thought it should. Mind you, they're much closer than they are. It was a bit stiff to me.
Building a new stadium over there. There's your seating.
Yeah. First time out here. Nice facility.